Hello and welcome to my top 10 games of 1992, and starting off at number 10 is the game called Test Drive 2 The Duel. Now this is a really strange one for me because it's another racing game. What's more stranger is it's like a game that it came out in 1992 on the Sega, and that's the system that I played it on. I'm fairly certain it came out in like 1989 or something like that on like the Amiga, on some Amiga system or something. But I didn't have that version, I had this version, and again I've chosen the red Ferrari because red is my favourite colour. That's how simple I was as a child. I was like, red still is my favourite colour as well. And there you go, my first crash in the game. This is a very simple one as well. It's basically you have a rival racer and you just have to drive to the end of the stage before they do. Avoid pedestrians, pitfalls, cops, stuff like that. Don't crash like that and kill that family right there. That would be bad. You have a certain set number of lives, and I believe they continue up through the entire races. So if you die so many times at the beginning, you won't have many lives in like the later races to come. But all in all, I don't know what it is about this one. It's like not particularly, looking at it, it's not particularly exciting, but it just instantly like throws like a wave of nostalgia over me every time I see it or play it or whatnot, even though I'm not going to play it ever again. This is it, it's done. All the games that I'm putting in like my playthrough lists and stuff like that, I'm not going back to ever again, I swear, honest. I might change my mind on a few things and just like, you know, put in like an old game here and there, but like this one's definitely one of those ones that's going to stay as like a childhood memory now. But that's exactly what it is. It's, again, as I was saying, it doesn't look particularly like exciting or anything. It's kind of doing this weird 2D free. It's trying to do like some kind of 3D manipulation thing with its 2D assets. But for me, I don't know. I find it really relaxing. It's like a No Man's Sky for me, this game, and yeah, it's just one of those ones. I think I went too far beyond the gas station. Now you have to actually stop at the gas station to like win and refill the your fuel. But again, it's a friend of mine would acquaint my experience with this to No Man's Sky, when it's like just a game that you just play and chill. Like I found that like this as a kid was like, it wasn't as fast paced as a Sonic or like a Golden Axe or Streets of Rage or anything like that, but it was just something that was just like different from all those experiences, and that I could just sit down, play. I wasn't particularly good at it, but I could just put it in, play it, and just, you know, relax. So it's just like, it's like a relaxing game that I had for the Sega back in the day. Well, that's my little insight in this one. Let us move on to number 9. And my number 9 pick here is a game that I only just played recently, and that's Golden Axe: The Revenge of Death Adder. Now, this isn't Golden Axe 3. It's kind of technically the second Golden Axe, but like of the arcade versions. So it's the same old shtick as all the others. It just has pretty like graphics here and there. So it's a hack and slash 2D side scroller where you have to just kill everyone, see them violently burned to pieces by flame, have like mantis mounts. I guess I didn't even talk about that in like the other Golden Axe things. Like Golden Axe is pretty much known for having mounts, so this mantis can breathe fire. So each game kind of tries and has its own unique mounts. The mounts in 3, trust me, I'll get to it. No, I won't get to it because I don't even think 3's on my I think 3 might be on one of my favourite lists. The mounts in 3 suck, but like this mantis is pretty cool. But yeah, it's the exact same as the others. It's just kill a load of bad guys. Ugh, I'm trying to belch and talk at the same time here. I almost called them baggies for some reason. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But like, yeah, same old shtick. Kill the baddies. Beat the big bad at the end of the level, the big bad boss, and then you should be sorted. So yeah, look at that. I have a little cannon trebuchet thing. It's kind of weak and pathetic. Yeah, get back on that Mantis. It's kind of run out of steam at this point, like the Golden Axe stuff for 1992 here, but you know, it's still okay. And there's the big bad lady wrestler. Anyways, let's just continue onwards. Okay, so our number 8 pick is Super Star Wars for the SNES. Now, even back as a child, I heard that these games had a reputation for being hard, and man, is it just kind of... It's all out of whack, this game, with like its difficulty curve. I'm playing on easy, by the way, and I think I still... I had to revert to cheats to beat it eventually. Now, I had no exposure to it as a child. I believe this came out... Well, this came out in 1992, as it suggests, but I think my first exposure to it was not the game, but the movies themselves, was the last copy VHS tapes of the original trilogy before the special editions. So I got like the best of both worlds when I was growing up. The fact that like I had the originals on like videotape, and then there was at the time, the cool new prequels were coming out, and this isn't a movie review channel or anything like that, but I have to say that I kind of grew up at the right time for those movies, even though I will fully admit that they suck in a lot of places. But there was a point where you're a kid, and like as a kid you can be very stupid, and like shiny things will excite you. So I recall The Phantom Menace being like an amazing movie when I was like very young, even though now it's just like, ugh, there's no character structure or anything in it, you know. Anyways, I digress. I heard about the reputation of this throughout like my years, and when I eventually got around to playing it, boy howdy, is it like tough. It is, again, as I'm saying right now, I'm playing on easy, and the first boss is the Sarlacc pit monster, just the Sarlacc, let's just say. Yeah, incredibly difficult. I'm playing on easy, so that's why it looks easy at the moment, but like, trust me, later on it's just like, it's no joke, or no pushover, shall I say. And yeah, it's basically just a run and gun. It's an ultimate run and gun. You just have to be constantly firing or else you're dead. And yeah, very tough, but it's pretty enjoyable if you're like a Star Wars fan. And my number 7 spot here is Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Now, this is when... I mean, like, they were always getting into, like, aliens and stuff like that, because the end of each previous Contra, there was always, like, some kind of, like, H.I. Giga, like, monstrosity, like, alien thing that was always in control of it. I don't know if that's part of the continuity. That's going to be an alien dog, by the way, that's going to attack me. There we go. This one I came to a bit later on, or I think I might have played it on the, as I said before, the Wii's Virtual Shop, on like the most horrendous classic controller of all time. I'm not even going to show a picture of that, like that controller. It was just horrendously bad, and this aim missile has kind of been a bit bad as well. But yeah, it's more Contra, it's more colourful, obviously because of the 16-bit graphics and stuff like that. There's a Contra game that I like more than this, that we'll be getting up to in like 2 or 3 years after this one, because this is the 1992 version. But I can see definitely at the time this would have been a blast to play, and it's gonna do the thing later on. I think it's like in the second level. This is the first level right here, but in the second level I think it's going to do the whole like mode 7 graphics stage of like the 2D 3D kind of element to it. Now, like, that's me just dying right there. Again, it's Contra, so it's like one-hit kills and stuff like that. Very dangerous enemies. They can be like a bit bullet spongy, but that's what they're designed to be. And yeah, very difficult in the fact that like you only have one hit. One hit is equal to 1 life, so you die really, really quick in this game if you're not careful. I don't think I've ever been able to officially beat a Contra without cheats. Like, and again, I keep making the same excuse of I don't have the time anymore to like actually sit down and get good at the game. I need to just be able to go. That's not necessarily I can't even say the word. It's not necessarily true for. There we go. I got it at the end, I think. But it's not true that like I don't actually put like effort into some like games. There's quite a few games that I do. It's just I find with like the classics, they were made to be hard, and for my personal like preferences, I rather just have something that's like a nice, easy, chill, like going gaming experience. I'm not in it for like the super hard, difficult boss or anything like that. That's just gonna like floor me for about 5 hours. I don't find that fun, like fighting an enemy for 5 hours, just trying to like beat them. But that's just me personally. For you guys, it might be different. You might enjoy the challenge and stuff like that. And I definitely get the appeal, but for me, it's not the appeal for me. And what I'm trying to say is this game isn't for the faint-hearted. It is very tough. It gets very difficult very quickly if you're not paying attention to where enemy placement is and stuff like that. Alright then, enough of Contra, let us move along. Okay, so our number 6 pick of Get Psyched is Wolfenstein 3D, which is a game that I completely missed for the longest time ever. I think I played this after the 2011 game of Rage from id. Yeah, even after that, I think I played this one after Doom 2016. Yeah, I would have, because like I started my channel properly in 2017 here, and as part of it, I decided why not go back and play all the games that people say like classic tentpoles, that are like just games that you should play before you die kind of deal. And Wolfenstein 3D was definitely up there. So this is essentially what people call the grandfather of first-person shooter games. So like the daddy of first-person shooters is always going to be Doom. That's the one that has popularized it. Again, even Wolfenstein 3D, this wasn't the first-person shooter game, but it was one of those that like made it popular. And then obviously with the success of Doom, like first-person shooters have become one of the biggest like genres of games of all time. Excuse me, I'm trying to belch and talk at the same time whilst actually watching my footage here of me shooting down Nazis. Also, like, what's not fun about shooting down like the pure Aryan race Nazi? It is literally kind of perfect in a kind of simplistic, brutal way of just hearing them scream as you, BJ Blazkowicz. I think BJ Blazkowicz is supposed to be an American from Polish descent, and he's pretty much like the 6'6" chiseled jaw, chin, blonde hair, Aryan, blue-eyed ideal that the Nazis idolize, and he's here just to like mow them down and like slaughter them and escape Castle Wolfenstein. So it's like it's the perfect story. And again, it's like man with gun needs to shoot gun at people, like a great classic tale of all time. But yeah, Get Psyched is the first big id game that put them on the map, and then obviously after this it was Doom. Doom was the one that like just made them hit like super success, but this one basically got them notoriety, and it's a bit more like simplistic in comparison. But you know, back in like 1992, this was some like revolutionary stuff with just having this quasi 3D like engine thing going on here with like John Carmack. Anyways, that's a bit of Wolfenstein. If you haven't check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a good classic, and it's just blasting Nazis away. Alright, let's move on to my next pick. Now, my fifth pick here is a bit of a random one. It is a very, very fast game if you know what you're doing, and it is the 1992 game of the Terminator. So, obviously, it's based on like Terminator 1. You play as Kyle Reese, and your job is to go back through time and save Sarah Connor. Now, I am not using any cheats in this game, and I have to say it is one of the toughest little games I've ever played in my life. Just from like, I don't know, like you can die super quick, and I'm pretty sure there is like options to like lower the difficulty and stuff like that, and I might be playing on easy here, like just cheating a little bit. When I say it's fast, I think I beat this game in about 10 minutes, and for the time, if you're playing like a game from 1992 and you've paid full whack for it, that's the only game you have for like months. Your mummy and your daddy are not going to be giving you like a lot more pocket money to get other games. You have to pick a game and stick with it. But for me, this one, I found it super challenging, so it took me actually a long time to beat it, but obviously now I can just do it in about 10 minutes. It is ridiculously fast, so your value for money, that's up to you, whether you think it's worth it or not. It is very short, so people can feel very shortchanged by this game. But for me personally, I don't know, there's something about it. Like, there was another Terminator game, Terminator 2, that absolutely sucked for the Sega. But I still played it on my channel because it was like part of my childhood. Obviously, it always comes down to that like little thing of like, yeah, it was bad, but it's always the but, right? But I played it in my childhood, and I'm going to play it for the channel. This mission is kind of arsehole-ish by the fact that it gives you these horrible grenades that are rubbish, and you have to kill that like little Skynet robot over there just to beat him. Yeah, all the other like humanoid enemies are supposed to be like Cyborg Arnold. There's the machine gun. Now you get the machine gun, it becomes a cakewalk. Later on, you actually go back into the past, and you get like a shotgun that you can only aim whilst like crouching down. It's just one of those kind of games. Don't ask me why. And yeah, it's very short but sweet, I find. And I mean, I love those first two Terminator movies, and this is definitely like a more like well-rounded game than the sequel that was made by another company. I don't know, it's one of those things where back in the day, like, licenses to games were always up in the air, like people always buying them and like making their own version of it. So I don't think there's going to be many more Terminator games on this list, because like most of them just straight up suck. So but for me, there's something about this one that I really do like, and I think all the Terminators are in the endoskeletons now for some reason. Yeah. Anyways, that's me waffling on too long about a movie tie-in game, which is one of the very few movie tie-in games, by the way. And again, this game was made, when did the movie come out? The movie came out in 1984, so this game was made 8 years after the movie, so that shows you how popular the Terminator was. Not only that, the sequel Terminator 2 came out the year prior to this game, so that re-energized the Terminator franchise a little bit. Alright, so enough of the Terminator, let us move onwards. And my number 4 pick is Super Mario Kart, and I'm a big Yoshi fan, or Yoshi, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I've never known how to... I think that's like one of those like names when you could just have like two interpretations of it, right? Yoshi, whatever. I switch between them. Let's stop talking about the name of Yoshi. Mario Kart, it's one of those ones that a lot of people know. They've made multiple renditions. I think the latest one, Super Mario Kart Deluxe 8 for the Switch, is the best one. Some people really like Double Dash. I've never actually played the GameCube one, Double Dash. But yeah, as for like the first one, this is fantastic. It's fully using like solely the Mode 7 graphics thing that the SNES had going on back in the day. And it's, again, self-explanatory. It's a kart racer, you just have to become number one, but you also get all these power-ups and stuff like that. And a lot of game, by a lot, I don't know if there was a lot, but I know that like Crash Bandicoot Team Racing stuff was heavily inspired by the Mario Kart series of just having like the power-ups and stuff like that to put onto the map and like throw down and hit people and like make them slide on bananas and stuff like that. No blue shell yet, from what I know. Or what I'm aware of. I don't know when the blue shell was introduced, but that was a nightmare of a introduction of the blue shell. I've had many Mario Kart matches in Mario Kart 8 when I've been in the lead and then, you know, blue shell. It's funny when you play with your friends because everyone just slows down. This one specifically, the original, I recall playing it a lot at a friend's house. The same said friend whose sister had a SNES, so it would have been her game. The SNES only had 2 control ports, so there was only 2 players. As you can see, the top of the screen is like you and you're driving. The bottom half of the screen is the map to show your positioning and stuff like that. Or the positioning of all the other racers, that's more important and key. Donkey Kong looks weird as all heck in this game. Yeah, I recall like being actually a little baby and being scared of the boo stages. So again, like I didn't play Super Mario World at this point. The only Nintendo SNES experience I had was Mario Kart really, and like a few other games like Mario Paint. I want to say Mario Paint had a pretty funky like mosquito fly swatting game that was funky. But yeah, I recall this being 2-player and like facing off against my friend, my brother, my friend's sister and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a very memorable, colourful, nice like go-kart game that is just stand the test of time and as a franchise as well. And again, it's just that Mario like I don't know, there's something about Nintendo like pure fun. Like Mario Kart is just, it's just very fun to play. I don't think there's a... well, I've not played enough of them, but I'm going to make the bold statement of saying I don't think there's a bad Mario Kart game out there. Or there's not one that I can think of. Like, every single one of them I've enjoyed. But I have to admit, I've only really played this one and Mario Kart 8 a lot of Mario Kart 8. I played a little bit of Double Dash in there and a bit of Mario Kart 64, but the main ones would have been this one and especially that Switch one that came out, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And there we go, I'm number 1, yay! Anyways, enough of Mario Kart, let us move on to my next pick. Okay, so here we are, my number 3 pick of 1992 is Mortal Kombat, the original. Now, Mortal Kombat, my history of it is not that exciting. I played it like way later on down the line, and I have to say it's pretty rudimentary and cheap, especially if you're fighting the computer. Right now, it's on screen, it's just me and my brother just like smashing the hell out of each other, just for fun, you know? It usually ends up with him winning a lot of like these fighting games, I have to admit, because you know he's just got the raw skills. But yeah, this one adds in like it's digitized characters, and the main key point of Mortal Kombat that made it successful, let's face it, is the fatalities. It's basically the fatalities and the violence, like the blood and stuff like that. That was the big selling point of Mortal Kombat, of it being like, this is not your typical fighter, like Street Fighter 2 clone, because that was its main competition. Street Fighter 2 came out the year before this, and that just made every video game company decide we need to get a fighter game out there because Street Fighter 2 is just so successful. It's taking all the money. We need something to compete with Street Fighter 2, and I don't like to like compare them and say that like Street Fighter 2 is better than Mortal Kombat, or like Mortal Kombat's better than Street Fighter 2 kind of deal. or just I say the franchises, like Street Fighter franchise versus Mortal Kombat franchise, which is better? Because I feel like they're both brilliant in their own accords. For me, I because I was a violent little child who loved to watch like all these horror movies and sci-fi action films and stuff like that, like, you know, Predator, Aliens, and what else? There's like a load of like trashy movies and stuff like that I watched as a kid that was just like goofy and violent. Think of like The Evil Dead 2 and stuff like that. What I'm trying to say is the thing that attracted me most to this game was the fact that it was violent, and violent movies at the time were rated 18s when I was growing up. They still are. And even though like the violence of like recent times is just rubbish, like the UCG and stuff like that, and it's like I want like a RoboCop kind of like violence with like squibs and stuff like that that just explode and look just like horrifically bad. I'm digressing into like a violent feud staker. I need to get out of it. Basically, I was attracted by the adult nature of Mortal Kombat, of it being, it's like, it's not for kids, it's violent as all heck, and that was the thing that really, really got me. And the little bit of when I played this originally, I can't exactly recall when I played the original Mortal Kombat 1. I think it might have been early 20s or something like that, when I was in my early 20s. And yeah, it was just one of those things. I definitely didn't play it in like the mid 2000s. So it would have definitely, I think I dabbled with it in like 2011. I believe it was around then when the 9th Mortal Kombat game came out that I decided I might as well just check it out, kind of deal, and just like download it, see what it's all about. And it's a bit rudimentary, simple in comparison to the other games that will come out, but you know, you'd expect that because it's the first one. And again, it was just that violence, man, that just got me. Also, the movie of the 1995 movie had a kick-ass theme to it, of the Mortal Kombat theme that like they use quite a bit. And I have to admit, when I was originally not going to buy Mortal Kombat 11 when it first came out, because I was like, I might as well just wait until like there's like an Ultimate Edition or something like that, so I can get all the characters and things like that, because fighting games now always have like character season passes and stuff, and I just wanted the full content. But then I heard like the Mortal Kombat theme in like the launch trailer for Mortal Kombat 11, and I was just like, I need to buy Mortal Kombat 11 now. So anyways, Mortal Kombat 1, it's pretty alright. It's not the best Mortal Kombat, but it's certainly not the worst. Okay, on to our next pick. Okay, and for my number 2 pick, we're going back to the streets of Streets of Rage 2. Now, Streets of Rage 2, it was another sequel that I'd never thought I'd see, because like I thought there was only one of them, and there probably just was one of them at the time, of Streets of Rage 1. So like I got my Sega, and then pretty early on I had like Golden Axe and Streets of Rage 1, and same deal. I never expected to see a sequel for whatever reason. I think it was basically me being a simple child of just like thinking, oh, the machine's out, so all the games are out for it, and then, you know, not realizing that no, like they make new games. So when this came into existence, I was like, whoa, there's a Streets of Rage 2, and it's like, it looks better, it's cooler, and yeah, like the sprites are definitely bigger and stuff like that. So it just felt like bigger and more epic, and you have like special moves and stuff like that. It's the same formula of my brother hitting me whilst I'm trying to hit enemies, because that's what he does. There's me hitting him. What to say about it? It's the same formula of like the other things. Like, you've seen this before. It's a beat 'em up side scroller. You beat all the enemies in a time limit. you go to the right side of the screen and then you fight a boss right at the end. But it's a formula that works, goddammit. And it works very well with Streets of Rage. And for me, this is well deserving of the number 2 spot. I can't put Mortal Kombat above it. I just can't. It's just not in me. But like this one, even with my brother backhanded me right there, I still love it. It is by far and away my favourite Streets of Rage game of all of them. I might make like a top list of my Streets of Rage games and other games of other franchises actually. But not right now. I'll do that later on. I might start that with like Resident Evil 8, who knows. That's dating this video. But then again, you already have a date stamp on the videos now. Yeah, it's more Streets of Rage. So if you do like it, I would highly recommend replaying it because it's still solid. It's like pretty damn good. And if you haven't played it, check it out. I would highly recommend like this over, say, the sequel that just came out recently, Streets of Rage 4. There's just something about like the sprite 2D animation art style that I just find more appealing than remakes that well, not remakes, sequels that just use like modern like sprites and stuff like that. So it's more like picture painting-esque stuff. There's something that is just more appealing about like the little pixel animation like style of it. Anyways, that's enough of Street Fighter 2, not Street Fighter 2, Streets of Rage 2. That's something. I always get mixed up between the bloody names of like these franchises because some of them just sound the exact same. To be fair, Streets of Rage, Streets Fighter, you know, whatever, who cares. We're moving on. Okay, and here it is, my number 1 pick is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Again, possibly one of the first games that I've ever played. I don't think it is the first. I think the first game that I played was Golden Axe 1. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is probably my favourite Sonic game out of all of them. I'll have to think more on that. Like, I don't know. It was one of the things that just made me want to get a Sega, and it was so popular that the Sega like system that I bought came with it like packaged with the machine. So it was just like I know, weird, right? Like back in the day, like games machines would actually come with a game installed. To be fair, Sony with the PlayStation 5 had that little like tech demo thing of Astro's Playroom that basically showed off the PlayStation 5's capabilities. But what I'm saying is most machines now, they don't come with like a game packaged in. Maybe Wii Sports, you know. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2, I don't know, there's something about it. It was at the height of Sonic the Hedgehog if you weren't around. So they had like the Sonic cartoon, and not Sonic X or anything like that. I mean like Fat Sonic. And Fat Sonic is the best Sonic. He likes the chili dogs, and I've tried chili dogs, and trust me, they're not that good. Or the ones that I made were not good. Yeah, I can't really say much about it because it's literally just your blue ball that like goes really fast. There's no one faster alive than him. But there is something about it that I don't know. It's just an iconic thing. Not as iconic as like Mario, but for me, growing up, I was a Sega boy, so like Sonic the Hedgehog was just like a really big deal. And then it transitioned to the orange marsupial Crash Bandicoot later on when it became like the 3D era. I will say that about Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's definitely one of the best, like for me, one of the best side scroller. Like I don't even know what you call this. Is it just gotta go fast game? I mean, there's so many like horrific Sonic things that have happened, and then movies and stuff like that, and let's not get onto fandoms and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. For me, it's just iconic, and I am in love with it. With Sonic the Hedgehog 2. There, I made it. It might be my favourite Sega Genesis / Sega Mega Drive game of all time. But hey, if my likes are towards your likes, please tell me in the comments. I like to know if you feel the same about the games that I enjoy. And as for that is all of 1992's games that I like, my top 10. And if you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. I'll have more to come. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.